Okay, the Enduro bag, we're gonna wait for that to go by. First of all, welcome to the channel and thank you for stopping by. When time permits, please consider subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it. Today I'm here to show you the two tank bags I've been using on my 390 adventure. This is the Rigg Hurricane Adventure Bag. This is 11 liters and quite large. I used this for about a year and a half before deciding that I wanted to try something a little bit smaller now that I have some other luggage on the bike that I keep on all of the time. So we'll talk about this later, but let's take a look at what I've replaced it with. This is the Rigg Hurricane Enduro Bag. This is significantly smaller at only 2.6 liters, but it's serving the purpose that I needed, and that was to have something up front that I could easily access, and I still wanted it to give me what my other Hurricane bag gave me, which was 100% waterproof. I've had multiple bags over the years that claim to be water resistant, good enough, even waterproof. They all leaked, and they all did come with the shell to cover it to make it truly waterproof, and I should have known the moment they handed me that shell that that bag was not going to be waterproof. And if it's not waterproof, that means Frank is going to forget to cover it, it's going to rain, and everything's going to get wet. There's only just so many times you want your wallet to get wet before you decide to switch to a completely waterproof tank bag. Now let's take a look at what these look like on the bike. Now I'm not going to tell you how to mount a tank bag on your bike. You know that they all wrap around the triple tree and they all go down in at least 2 points to someplace on your bike that works. You'll figure it out pretty quickly. The reason I'm using this bag, the Enduro bag, even though my bike is not an Enduro bike, is that it is small and compact, while at the same time being just large enough. If you're someone that doesn't want to use a tank bag because you don't want to have this big block sitting in front of you, blocking your view, getting in the way of your gas cap, whatever, this might be the product for you, and it certainly is the product for me. I hear a lot of times that I don't want to block the gas cap, but with both of these, you're not really blocking the gas cap. It is absolutely no problem at all to quickly disconnect this fuel and then fill it back up. I'm gonna hop on the bike and show you that this one is virtually never in the way. Your mileage may vary and it's absolutely up to the person, but I consider this to be a very compact tank bag, and I find it to be out of the way all the time. Whether I'm sitting on the bike or standing on the bike, I don't even notice this is here. It's a non-issue. It just is there. Not really in the way. Again, can be moved quickly. If you're looking for a tank bag that does not take up a lot of space, 2.6 liters, I find to be just fine. Okay, this is the Hurricane bag, the Enduro version. It is a small bag, which is exactly what I'm looking for. It fits emergency supplies, things I need. It doesn't even fit a bottle of water, but it does have a decent size for stacking of anything. I put my phone in here sometimes when I don't want it bouncing around up there. I keep some emergency medical supplies, a couple of snacks. It's not bad. This is a decent sized bag when you want something that's out of the way and either you don't need real storage or, like me, you have some storage in the back. At 11 plus liters, the Hurricane Adventure is quite large. Now, I used it primarily before adding any other storage to the bike, and I found that I could stuff the heck out of this enough for a day trip, no matter how far I was going. I could put my GPS in here if I didn't want to, my phone in here, my rain jacket, food, drinks. It's enormous, as we'll show you in a minute. And I did find it to be incredibly helpful when I needed a lot of storage. However, when I didn't need a lot of storage, I started to notice just how cumbersome it could be on this bike. Now, on a larger bike where it could be moved farther away from where you sit, that's not going to be an issue. But on the 390 Adventure, which is a rather compact adventure bike, This is a really big bag. And while it served me well for over a year, as you'll see in a moment, I was happy to replace it with a smaller bag. But let's see how it looks with me on the bike. So when sitting on the bike, it is big and you can't avoid it. It catches your eye. It's just this very large container immediately in front of you. But it's not actually an issue. I didn't at any point riding the bike, it's not in the way until you go off-road. When you're up here, there's no way to avoid it. This is in the way. And the bumpier and the rockier the terrain you're going over, the more this giant bag is in the way. Okay, here we have the Nelson Rigg Hurricane Bag Adventure model. This is the one when you want space. If you are not going to have any other bags on your bike and you want to carry a lot of things, this cavern right here, this will do it. You can put 11 liters of storage in here. This is immense. You're going to pay for that with its size, but if you want to store things, this is the one to get. So there we have it. The Hurricane Enduro at 2.6 liters and the Hurricane Adventure at 11 and change liters. Now, you may notice the space I left here, and that's because it's quite obvious to me, and I'm sure it's obvious to you, that there's a hole in the Nelson Rigg product line. It needs to go right here, and it needs to be a 6 to 8 liter bag. These bags are made of an incredibly durable poly. They are heat welded and they are perfect in every way to keep out water. This bag has spent a year and a half being outdoors in the rain. I've ridden for 8 to 9 hours straight in the rain. Nothing gets through it. This bag, I've ridden over 10 hours in the rain. Nothing got through it. I came in the rain riding 2.5 weeks from the Pacific Northwest back to New York. Nothing got wet through this bag. But there's this hole. This is going to be too small for anyone that does not have more storage. And this is going to be too big for a lot of bikes. They're both great, and I hope someday we have something here in the middle. But if you can make either one of these work, you're going to get an inexpensive, it was less than $100 for each of these, quality bag that's going to last you. And I believe they have a lifetime warranty if anything does break, though I can't imagine it breaking without you being responsible for it. So there we have it. 2 great bags, 2 great options, depending on what your needs are. Well, if you stuck around, I truly appreciate it. Thank you, and take care.